things, that is, because when he arrives at Liverpool Football Ground for the match against Leicester, he'll become the youngest person ever to have visited all 92 Football League clubs in England. And I've been following him through the last few weeks of his marathon record attempt. A Saturday afternoon in January. The match, Queen's Park Rangers versus Preston. Final score, Queen's Park Rangers 1, Preston 1. The attendance, 8,415. And among the crowd, a very special fan, Tony Incenzo. A devoted QPR supporter, he's also visited more league clubs than anyone else his age. At his home in East Finchley, London, his bedroom has become a shrine to football. Souvenirs from his pilgrimage around the soccer grounds are there in their hundreds. In fact, there's no room for any wallpaper in Tony's bedroom. Every inch of space is covered with football posters, reminding him of all the matches he's seen, the people that he's met, and the grounds that he's visited.
Each ground I went to, I asked if I could have a poster well, it's a visual reminder of each ground I've been to.
Now, have you been doing all this because you love football, because you like playing football, or because you want to set up a record?
Well, it's certainly not to set up the record. It would be nice to create a record, but I've only known about the record for the last month or so really I didn't have that intention in mind. I've always been a fan of football, and I would say it is because I love football.
How did you plan it all then? Must have been quite difficult.
Well, I planned it all out sort of on a graph. I wanted to make sure that every time QPR played away I could visit a new club, so I researched all the fixtures and made sure that each Saturday I had spare I could visit a new club.
Tony's travelled more than 20,000 miles and spent over £700 on his marathon round England trek. And he's been to places as far afield as Plymouth and Carlisle. He's amassed over 3,000 programmes from his visits. And as well as the programmes and posters, he's got something else to help him remember his trips. Well, you've kept a log, haven't you, of all your journeys. You've listed every club that you've been to in this log. The first club you ever went to was Chelsea.
That's right,
and you finished with Liverpool. Is it possible to say which was the friendliest club?
Well, it's not a big club, I should say. It's Halifax Town. They were great there. They looked after me in the boardroom, and they provided me with great souvenirs. Their commercial manager there, Mr. Tony Twaits, he was very friendly. He's the friendliest chap I've met on all my travels, and I must say I have met some very friendly people at all clubs.
And you've listed in your log details of the ground. You've drawn plans. Why have you drawn the ground plan?
Well, in years to come, I can look back on those plans and I can remember the grounds, because after a while I thought they'll all blend together in my memory and they'll all seem the same. So I thought if I have an individual ground plan, I'll be able to remember each ground as it was when I went to it.
And which was the best ground then?
The best ground, I'd say, was Old Trafford, Manchester. It's got seats on all four sides and it's got standing paddocks all the way around as well. There's a tremendous atmosphere there and it's a great setup.
Though he's seen all the top clubs in action, he's still a loyal QPR fan, and he gets invited behind the scenes at their ground, Loftus Road. He even got a special invitation to the dressing room to collect autographs.
Your sign, please.
Tony has collected thousands of signatures on his travels around the country, and many clubs have introduced him personally to the players. And that's given him the rare chance of getting their reactions first-hand to the match they've just played.
Yeah.
Should have won that today, shouldn't we?
I think so, yeah. I liked his goal, though. It's great.
Great goal, great goal.
QPR captain Glenn Roeder is full of praise for Tony's record-breaking achievement.
Well, I think it's absolutely fantastic, and what makes it, so marvellous is the fact that he's done it at the age of 17. To want to travel around all the 92 league grounds at that age, I think is wonderful. Football's going through a bad time at the moment, and it's nice to meet someone like Tony.
Football is Tony's first love, but he hasn't allowed it to interfere with his studies. He's preparing for A-levels at the moment and spends 3 hours every evening at his books. He plans to go to university at the end of the year to do economics. So does that mean he's turning his back on soccer, or does it feature in his plans for the future?
I'd like a career in football as a sort of administrator, club secretary or commercial manager. I've studied these aspects on my travels, and I feel I could piece together all the information I've researched and perhaps, you know, make a very good football administrator. But otherwise, I'd like to be in the media covering football on television or on the radio or something, or in the press.
What, a commentator of some sort?
Commentator or a reporter, yeah. I'd love to do that.
Oh, he's football crazy, he's football mad, and the football has robbed him all the wee bit since he hadn't. It would tag a dozen skivvies, his clays to wash and scrub, since Sir Jock became a member. Oh, that terrible football club.
And if all goes well, Tony will this afternoon become the youngest person ever to have been to all 92 league clubs in England. And he's not finished there, because he says when he's done that, he wants to go around all the non-league clubs as well. And there are about, I don't know, 400 or 500 of those, so a few years to go on his record-breaking mission. No, you see.